Hello again, party members. My name is Arios, and welcome to Oxygen Not Included. This game has blown up in the past couple of days on YouTube. I actually purchased this game myself so that I could get up to the early access version, and I actually lost 3 hours from just playing a game. And I started a new game, and I've learned a lot by playing this game on my own. But I am hooked. Like, I love this game to death. And I like management style games anyways. Anyway, I like the roller coaster tycoon style games. But for some apparent reason, I don't know what it is about this game, but I just get sucked into it, and then I'm sucked into it. So I wanted to play this because it is from the developers of Don't Starve Together and the Don't Starve game, and you can kind of tell by the art style. And I love the Don't Starve series, so why not keep backing the developers by going with it? So there's apparently was a massive update, and I have not played the new build. And I'm curious to see what has all changed and see how well I can do on camera, which is probably not going to be too good. And I'll also give you my expert tips on this game, because I'm a master of this game. Not really, because I've actually had some terrible runs. So when picking your first couple of people, I don't go into depth yet about what to do. You can't do research, but you have construction and learning and tinkering. I need you. So I also want a good digger. But the thing about it is, like, the stats for the characters do matter, but I've not really invested that much into it. Ooh, you're pretty good, but you can't do research. I need, see, cooking, athletic, creative, no. Strength, tinkering, there we go, there's a digger. Yeah, that's fine. 20 decor, you're a narcoleptic. Okay, that's good. So, this is going to be called the Arios Colony. And let's embark. So, the whole point of this game is it's kind of like The Sims, for lack of a better comparison, in that you're supposed to do what you can to keep your people alive indirectly. Like, you don't directly, like, in The Sims, you can point somebody to do their own thing, but essentially what you're supposed to do is build something and let them do their own thing. So that's why I say it's like The Sims in that manner. But similar to The Sims is you still have to supply, you still have to, in some cases, give them orders. So in this, your crew has awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got here. It might be best to start digging. So the whole point of the game is to just survive, essentially. You're supposed to go as long as you can and expand, research, all that kind of stuff like you normally do in most of these types of games. And in my case, I get really hooked on trying to find strategies. God, geez, I got a lot of oxalite to start with. Whoa! This is like the best starting area I think I've ever had. But what I want to try to do is play through the game and see if I can actually get me a decent run. Since I've had some really good runs. Actually, my current game that I'm playing on my own time is a really, really spectacular run. But knowing my luck, I'm probably going to get a lot of things that just happen, and it's just all going to wind up going to hell. But anyway, by starting with a digger, I get people who can take these down a lot faster. I don't know if the type of soil makes it easier, or the type of material that they're digging through makes it easier or harder. But I'm not sure. But anyway, usually how I like to start is with, I like to get beds and I like to get the research started, which I have watched people play this before, so a lot of this is not strictly my my tactics. Some of it I've kind of used because it's helped me, but a lot of other things I have learned on my own, such as building my own things, building my own paths, and little things like that. But I like to get started with just kind of building outward and getting me a straight line. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit because I can't imagine playing this game at regular speed, because it would just be so slow. Now this speed is a lot faster, so this I think is a good speed. But I think once you get too slow, it's just, I think that would just be really, really ridiculous to try and build through. So I'm going to start building. So how you want to play the game is you want to start playing with a room mentality in mind, because similar to like the Sims games, not so much like this regular Sims, but like Sim City, when when you build certain things by certain areas, then like it actually affects the your players or your players your colony, your crew members. So building like the bathrooms too close to the colony winds up being a bad thing. Just little things like that. In which actually I need to build an outhouse while I'm thinking about it. So you have the ability to prioritize your builds. So I can make them dig this out and ignore everything else. Or there's even a red alert mode where you make them ignore everything else and build. Which I don't know if I got the new build, to be perfectly honest. Because... oh, I may have gotten the new build. I don't know 100%. But, anyway... so what I like to try to do is try to prepare rooms, which, I mean, that's not really that far-fetched of a tactic, because if you think of like Minecraft or Terraria, when you build, my controller, when you build in a format to where everything is where you think it should be, so that it's easier to have access to. So that's what I'm trying to do. And the top left corner kind of gives you tips on and information on what's going on, which is really helpful as well, especially if stress is really high, or one of the most annoying things is if your person like destroys a platform and they fall into like this gap right here and they can't get out, and then all of a sudden you just get this notification when they're almost dead that they're suffocating, which that's a little frustrating because it waits until they're almost dead to tell you, but it's not that big of a deal. So my next task, I need to get some metal because I don't have any metal yet. So let's dig through here because I need to start building power sources and stuff, but I can't without metal. And you can build them out of different objects, but I think you have to build them out of specifically out of metals. So there may be better metals, but you don't necessarily want to use those up front or when you first start anyway. And this is probably the first time I've ever had 0 good supplies of metal anywhere nearby, unless I go for the abyssalite, which I don't necessarily want to do, but that may be my only option. So let's keep building. And this is gonna suck because there's an oxalite stone right there, and I don't want to dig it out because oxalite continually supplies oxygen for its duration, which is helpful to get you started. But I also need copper badly. Well, is this copper? Yeah, it is copper. I need metal badly, so I need to get it as soon as possible. I need metal as soon as I can. Another thing you also have to be the main thing about it is similar to Don't Starve, which I think is hilarious that the developers title their game based off of the biggest resource you have to be careful of. And in this game, I guess there are other resources, but oxygen is supposed to be the biggest thing you have to be wary of. While in Don't Starve, it was food, but you also have to survive and not heat up and not get too cold, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that kind of thing. So this is the same way. Oxygen seems to be the biggest thing, I guess, because you are in space on a strange planet, so you're supposed to find and I know I'm not sticking to any kind of specific story here, or any specific conversation or anything like that, but that's just because I get overly excited about talking about this game because I really enjoy this game. I've been getting so hooked on it. Okay, so I need a power source. Boop. So do stations require raw metal? They do require raw metal. So I need to find a metal deposit, or I need to just make sure I dig around until I get metal. So let me build up in here. So you have to build wires. You have to use power to build wires, kind of the best comparison I could make would be like to the Sims games where you have the Sim City games where you have to make sure you balance your resources. Dadgummit. Where you have to balance your resources so that everyone has access to everything. And hey, what happened to that? Why did you fall? Why did you fall, dirt? You're not supposed to fall, dirt. Nobody likes you, dirt. Where you have to balance your resources so that your people can survive. And my biggest problem is that I start to get to the point where I work on like 4 or 5 projects at a time rather than just focusing on one, and then that gets ahead of me, or I get ahead of myself, and then don't get other things done, which winds up screwing me up because nothing gets finished, or something gets finished that another thing needed to be prioritized first, or something like that. So I need to get a research station. So with research, you use this to build up. I'm going to have you hold my metals for right now. You use this to, similar to, and I know I'm making comparisons, and I'm not making comparisons in a negative light. Similar to like the Tycoon, Roller Coaster Tycoon games and stuff like that. You do research so you can unlock more things. And why are you not going to get this? Why can you not clear that up? Sweep this up. Sweep that up so I can get rid of it. So you do research so that you can do more things. Like with farm tech, I can build planter boxes to be able to actually plant my own food rather than trying to hunt down food throughout the map, which that in and of itself is rare. Like you would get lucky to find like an abundant food source out in the game itself. There's a little bit of metal there. There's nothing there. Okay, so we have people being idle now. So I'm going to prepare an ability. Oh shoot, dadgummit. No. Cancel that. I don't know the hotkeys just yet as well. I'm still kind of learning them. But I need to get them to a source of water because I'll be needing that whenever I start generating oxygen. And I still need metal. And that seems to be my big thing right now. So I'm just going to keep digging and clearing so I have the space. And then hopefully I'll be able to find more things. So with the research, what I normally like to start with is the farming tech, which I think if you've seen other people, that seems to be the best way to start because it's the most useful out of everything when you first start, because food and oxygen will quickly start to get ahead of you. And you won't be able to keep up. And what is consumable ore? Oh, oxalite. Okay, so I had a piece of oxalite that is gone now. Similar to the Don't Starve series, where if you're not careful about all your resources, eventually they will get too far ahead of you. And when that happens, it's very, very hard to catch back up. And Don't Starve is the same way, although in Don't Starve, once you hit winter, that's when it becomes very difficult. So what I'm doing now is just getting a general base set up so that I am ready for when I actually start doing other things, or when I start building up or building out or things like that. So for now, I'm going to let my guys sleep, and I'm going to keep working. And I may speed it up a little bit so I can get through a little bit more in one video, because my problem is if I play this and don't talk, I will just completely forget that I'm actually recording anything, and I will just start just playing the game for my own enjoyment, which I have done already a bunch of times. Well, not recording wise. This is my first recording of it because I've been playing on my own, so I can get a better feeling for the game. Because I didn't want to start this and just be like really terrible at it and try and go. But I also wasn't sure if I wanted to record an episode of it. But after playing a little bit of it, I wanted to give as much promotion to it as I can, and any problems I find with it to help out the developers, because I love the other game for the developers, so why wouldn't I want to try and help them out? And that's what I usually try to do, is help out indie game developers, which I believe this group I mean, they're an independent game development, I guess, technically speaking, even though they're a group. I don't know. I think indie development is, it kind of varies based off of situation, I suppose. But anyway, okay, so we are digging that up. There is, besides just oxygen, there are other resources that you have to worry about. Or there are other chemicals or molecules in the air that you have to be careful of. So there's carbon dioxide over here, which naturally is unbreathable. Over here, this is contaminated oxygen, which is breathable oxygen, but it's toxic. So there's a higher probability of your people getting sick. And then there's chlorine, hydrogen, and which, from what I've played so far, none of those have had an actual point just yet, mind you. That's going to change eventually, but as of right now, they don't have a purpose. They're just there. And dang it, I have to dig that up. So let me dig that up. I'm still researching. I got to start getting a food source because they start you off with enough to feed your a new duplicate to feed your 3 people for a good couple of days. But you still have to come up with your own food source. So every so often you will get an option to choose more duplicates, and I like to keep it at a low amount when I first start, but I also like to check their stats. So I need a creative person, not just yet, but I'd like to go ahead and have one. So I'm going to get you Rowan, and we're going to print you out. So I can start digging over there now, and I don't want to dig up any oxalite because I don't think it still produces whenever it's dug up. I also still need to keep looking for ore, and I also need to get everything planted. So the morb over there is bad. They just give contaminated oxygen, but if they produce an endless supply of contaminated oxygen, I can use them and filter out the contaminated oxygen to get good oxygen. So I'm going to get what do you cost? Let's build you out of dirt. Let's get a floor lamp. Because what I want to try to do as well is one other part of the game that you have to keep track of is you have to keep track of your people's stress. Because the more stressful they get, they're more likely to destroy things. And when they destroy things, they become inoperable, which is not that big of a deal because you can repair them and continue. But the biggest problem with that is as they get stressed, then if they are a vomiting stressor, then they increase research task complete. Cool. They add more contaminated water, which if that mixes with your good water, then you have contaminated water, and it's harder to get rid of until you start researching things to be able to decontaminate the water. So my next goal, I'm going to get some power generator, the bigger power generator, and next I'm gonna do liquid pumping, and probably not gonna be able to show that off in the video just yet, or in this playthrough just yet, but I'll get started to kind of give you an idea. So with the bigger power generators, that means I'll be able to hold more power, and then they don't have to work, because right now the only thing I have is a manual power generator. And with a manual generator, that means that they can only generate power by running, which causes more stress on them. So we're going to get a compost thingy. That'll do contaminated oxygen. Let's build it down there. And then let's also build a ladder so you can get down there. Boop. So this is just my tactic. It's by no means the tactic, but so far it's worked for me. And I actually have a game where I'm on like the 70th something cycle. So I only have 1 seed. Holy crap. So I'm doing really well with that in my opinion. Plant my millwood seed. So that's why I'm going with this. And even though my biggest problem is everything doesn't look very pretty whenever I do it, I still like to, do what I can do in the game itself. So is this unreachable? It is unreachable. Why is that unreachable? Come on, you guys. There you go. Build a ladder all the way down. So ladders are your cheapest bridge. They're the easiest thing to create that let your people walk across. You could actually build everything off of ladders that don't require a building. It's when they require a building that you can't rely on it. And I definitely need to get me some more seeds. Can I harvest these? How about digging them up? Because I think if I dig them up, I think I get the seeds out of them. I'm not sure. What do I have? So I have muckroot, bristlebar, millwood. So I may be able to get those. Actually, let's cancel that. I'm gonna let those grow. Okay, so the warning on the left side has, oh wow, I have people that are idle. Why can you still not get down there? I can't remember. I keep forgetting the amount of time or the amount of distance that they can dig, and I think it's, or they can move. I think it's 1 block, and is that too high? Yeah, it's too high. So I'm not worried about that. I think it's 1 block that they can jump up and down, and that means you have to be careful about how you build, because then you can easily get them trapped if they go down below. And that again is another thing about the game that kind of gets really, really frustrating, is just whenever you dig and then they fall to a position where they can't get out, and then it's just like, well, I mean, what are you going to do? They're probably going to die in that situation. Can you still not reach that? What do you mean it's still unreachable? Are you not allowed to go in the water anymore? Okay, let's just build up. See if I can get him to go there. Build down. Okay, you guys do your thing. It's almost the end of the next cycle. And my guys seem to be doing pretty good. So I want this to be... Oh, shoot. Take that out so you guys can get past. There you guys go. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. So I'm just kind of building a foundation. And I will probably play a lot of this, and I'll probably do a lot more videos, but I'll play it on my own time as well, just so I can just keep learning and getting better at it. Because I would hate to be playing through a game and then just do just completely terrible. Let's do cultivatable soil in there. Ooh, I found some more seeds. Awesome. More millwood. Plant that in there. And I have another seed. What do I have? Oh, I have a breeder seed or something like that. I don't know what it's called. Suffocating. Who's suffocating? What are you doing, you idiot? No. Move. What are you doing? Okay, you can go there. You can go there. You can go there. Why? Can I only move you a certain distance? Move, you idiot. Get out of the water. Jeez. That is definitely the most frustrating thing about the game, is that you like I said before about the suffocating, that you don't find out that they're suffocating until they're almost dead. And I have no idea why he could not. What do you mean that is unreachable? It's right there. I don't understand. I'm a little confused right now. Because you guys clearly got down there. I saw you guys over there. Alright, well, anyway. I'll just have to build another composting. Cool. I got a bigger battery. So, boop, boop. Bigger batteries. More wires. Which I really have to be careful about my consumption of metal, because I do not seem to have very much metal right now, and that will be the hardest thing for me. Dig that up, unless I can find a good resource to constantly get it. So let's dig up. I'm gonna go up a little higher here, and I want to just make sure I dig out all the metal that I can find for right now, and then I'll probably have to just go around and look for other things. And I don't know why they for some reason can't go into the water, and that's not been a thing I've had to deal with before. Ooh, there's metal right here. Dig that out. All right, so you need a millwood seed. Why muckroot? Why are they not going down there to clean that up? Whatever. It's still an alpha, so it's still got a ways to go. So I'm not knocking. I know that there's, and I could not imagine trying to code this kind of game, because like this has got a lot of, I mean, it's a lot of pathfinding and prioritizing, but you can manipulate that, which means they have to ignore what was said and do something else. And that's just really, really cool to me. So you built that, you built that. So the only other thing I need to build is a supercomputer. So I had enough metal for that. Do I have enough metal to connect to the grid? I do. Just enough. Awesome. So I've got just enough metal to get my guys going. And I can now start building the algae terrarium, and the algae deoxidizer lets you create oxygen. The problem is I think the deoxidizer uses 1,000 algae for 600 oxygen, while the terrarium gives you 40. Wait, is that a second? Yeah, that's a second. So that's 30 algae, but you also use water, so that could potentially be a problem as well, because water is not an unlimited resource by any means. So you have to be careful about that. And you are going to be... We'll be researching fine dining, but I'll wait and do that on the next episode that I do this. This way, I can slowly get myself prepared for a lot of things without overdoing it. Because right now, food is most likely going to be the roughest thing for me to get. I still don't understand why these guys can't get down there, because I know that these are not unreachable. Fetching water, yes, I understand. Because they were just down in here. So I don't know why they can't get down there. So why... So you can move there, but you can't move here. Maybe the water's too deep. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I'm going to save this for now. Save this. And I'm going to leave this episode here. So this is currently only in early access, and it is $20. If you don't like these kinds of games, it doesn't seem like it would be worth the $20 for you. But for me, because I love these types of games, I love these resource management types of games, that I have already burned more time into this than I did in even like the Resident Evil game or Horizon Zero Dawn. And I've already beaten both of those games. So to me, I love this game. If you want to give it a try for yourself, you do have to pay for the alpha, I believe. I don't think you can get it for free, as far as I'm aware up to this point. But anyway, if you're currently trying to LFG, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you have any suggestions on adventures you'd like to go on, leave a comment down below. And who knows, maybe we'll go on your adventure next time. See ya!